Good evening, everyone. Hope your weekend is going great so far. So, whether you are a student with little to no product development experience or someone who has explored the Cliq platform but wants a quick refresher, you are in the perfect place today. In this session, we're going to walk through the exciting capabilities of the Zoho Cliq developer platform, including the internal tools that help you to build powerful extension with ease. So sit back, relax, and let us guide you through how to integrate third-party apps, automate repetitive tasks, and consolidate all your notifications. The best part, you can do all of this with minimal coding. I'm Harsha, developer platform evangelist at Zoho Cliq. My goal today is to guide you through the developer platform and provide a clear understanding of each internal tool while ensuring the session remains engaging and easy to follow. This session is being recorded and the recording will be shared with you afterwards. If you have any questions at any point, feel free to drop them in the Q&A section. We'll try to address them during the session itself, and anything we miss or if you have any critical questions that needs to be answered in detail, we'll cover all of them again at the end. As we go through each component, I'll be switching to live demos so you can actually see how things work in real time. Hope that's good for you. So with that, shall we begin and let's get started. So before we explore a developer platform, let's quickly understand what kind of an app Zoho Cliq is. So it's a team communication software that helps you to connect, coordinate, and get work done efficiently. In simple terms, Cliq is built on three C's: communication, collaboration, and customization. So with respect to communication, you have chat, audio, video calls, voice notes, network, live events, and even a built phone system. So when it comes to collaboration, you can stay connected with your team through organized channels, group chats, and see who is available. Work together in meetings, and you can smoothly switch hosts whenever needed to keep your teamwork easy and productive. And last but not the least, customization. This is where CliqTrix', the meaning of the whole competition comes in place. So you can build internal tools, automate workflows, create integrations, and manage and schedule messages, all tailored to your needs. So before moving on to know about the capabilities of developer platform, let's understand or let's try to know why do we even need a developer platform and why do we even need an extension, right? So imagine you are an employee working in an office environment, sitting at a crowded desk. Multiple apps are being juggled across several screens. There are so many chat messages popping up. A lot of spreadsheets are open, browser tabs are everywhere, and you keep receiving notifications from all directions. Your desk is fully scattered with sticky notes, reminders, and pending tasks scattered around. When you look stressed, overwhelmed, and unsure where to focus first, right? So this is a very common workplace reality. So the pain points which you might encounter are too many apps which require constant switching. You miss updates and notifications, too much of repetitive manual task, and you don't have a single space to manage your work. And because of all of this, productivity gets reduced, and this leads to increased frustration. And this is exactly where the Cliq developer platform comes in, where you can build a packaged solution that adds new features, that automates your tasks, and connects external apps directly into the chat application. In simpler terms, instead of the user going to five different apps, the extension brings those five apps into Cliq. These extensions can be built with the Cliq developer platform, with which you can automate and personalize how Cliq works for you, making your day-to-day tasks faster, smarter, and more efficient. So let's do a quick brush up on the internal tools and components that make up the Cliq low-code developer platform before looking at them in detail. At the UI level, we have widgets, bots, slash commands, forms, and message actions, tools that help you to create interactive user experiences. These are supported by logic elements like functions and schedulers that drive the automation behind the scenes. For authentication, we use connections to securely connect with third-party apps. And for data storage, the platform offers a built-in database that supports multiple data types with encryption to keep your information secure. So when you build an extension in Cliq, the logic behind every action, for example, if you're trying to fetch any data or if you want to process any information that triggers workflows, that needs to be written in a scripting language, right? So that language is Deluge, Zoho's own structured, developer-friendly scripting language. Deluge allows you to write clean, readable logic without needing advanced programming experience. It helps you to handle data with inbuilt functions for strings, numbers, lists, and collections. And you can connect Zoho apps or third-party services very easily. In short, Deluge is the backbone that turns your idea into a working feature. So you can practice hands-on using the interactive editor by navigating to deluge.zoho.com/learn deluge. So here you have the uh, list of all predefined functions for multiple data types like strings, numbers, lists, and collections and date time. And you also have a editor where you can try uh, uh, to perform minimal operations and try to explore the capabilities of Deluge. And under functions, you have the list of supported functions which you can use to code and automate your workflows with the Cliq internal tools. And for detailed developer documentation and examples related to Deluge, you can navigate to zoho.com/deluge/help. So let's start with connections. So connections are the bridges that link Cliq with external services securely. They allow your workflows to access, fetch, and send data to other platforms without writing complex authentication code every time. So this is the very first step when you're trying to like build an extension or when you're trying to pick a use case. The very first step is to try to create a successful connection. So let's see how you can build a connection in Cliq. So this is your Cliq. At the top right corner of your profile, navigate to bots and tools. So this is where you have all the list of platform components. At the bottom, you have connections. So with respect to connections, there are two different types of connection. One is the default service and one is the custom service. Just a minute. Ah. So So default for services are services that are pre-configured by Zoho. You have like multiple list of Zoho services and other third-party applications with which you can try to create a connection. So creating a default service is easy. You just have to pick up the service. We have to give the a unique name for the connection, and bingo, the connection will be created. But what if the application which you want to integrate is missing here? So in this case, custom services comes into place. So for example, let's take the example of ZenKit. So ZenKit is a project management tool. So it's not available in the default service list. So before the very first step, before creating a connection, when you're picking an application, right, go to the developer documentation of that particular application and try to read. So when you try to explore the REST API documentation of the application, you will get to know what and all information that particular application allows you to uh, give it to an application like Cliq or any third-party app. So like with the case of ZenKit, we have this is the REST API documentation of ZenKit. Here, under authentication authorization, you have multiple types. One type is API key and the other type is OAuth 2.0. So if you're selecting OAuth 2.0, you have to register your app. And after registering the app, you have to provide the callback URL. This is the primary step when it comes to creating a custom connection. So all this information will be is given in detail in the connection help documentation. We have like explained in detail about how to create a default service as well as a custom service. So heading back to Cliq, like if you try to create a custom service, you have to specify the authentication type based on the application which you're choosing. So in case of ZenKit, you will be choosing the OAuth 2.2. And under parameter, you have to specify whether it's query string or headers. And you have to also specify the correct grant type. And you have to, after reading the help documentation in detail, you have to provide the client ID and client secret and all the necessary authorization access token URLs over here. And you have to also provide the scope with which you want to access the data. So this is how creating a custom service works. And after properly defining all of them, you can create a connection successfully. uh, you can navigate to the connection help documentation and get to know about this in detail. So for today's case, let's try to create a use case. The use case is, we are going to uh, fetch the list of open and closed tickets from Zoho Desk. So Zoho Desk is basically a web-based ticketing software, like where customers will report issues, and the business which can manage the customer tickets all under one single roof. So today we are going to fetch the list of tickets that has been logged by customers, and we are going to create a consolidated report. So I'll share the code snippet in the chat in some time. Okay, so now the idea is to uh, create a ticket report. So let's navigate to Zoho Desk REST API documentation. So under Zoho Desk REST API documentation, we'll navigate to tickets. So this is where we'll be getting the ticket info. So here we have to see which endpoint which we need to use, right? So this is the endpoint which is required to fetch all the list of tickets. And now we need to create a default connection with Zoho Desk. So navigate to Cliq under connections under default services, go to Zoho OAuth. So most of the Zoho services will be listed in Zoho OAuth. Give create connection. You can give a name saying Zoho Desk or Zoho Cliq. So in our case, we are just going to get the ticket information, right? So navigate to the developer documentation. So to get the ticket information alone, the scope that is required is desk.tickets.treat. Just copy it and choose scopes, type here, click create and connect. So you will get a consent page where you have to allow whether the application can read your data or not. So this is the very first step uh, in creating a connection. And now after creating a successful connection, you have to include or define the logic for each platform component, like according to your needs. So as said earlier, connections default service supports multiple different third-party applications under default services, and also most of the Zoho applications are also supported under default services. So if the use case which you're trying to pick is not listed under default services, you have to create a custom service and create a custom connection from the custom service. Before we see the UI interface and computation interface components like slash commands, widgets in detail, let's understand what a handler is. So think of handlers like motion sensors in an automated room. The sensor does not do the task itself. It simply detects the event, like someone walking in, and then it signals the system to turn on the lights or play music or adjust the temperature. In the same way, handlers in Zoho Cliq don't perform the final action, but they detect specific events like a bot being mentioned or a form being submitted or a button being clicked, and then trigger the logic that you have defined for the event. For example, let's take the example of bots. So I've already created a bot. So these are the list of handlers available for a bot. For example, if you want to like post a welcome message when a user subscribes to a bot for the first time in your organization, you want to customize it, means you have to provide the logic in under the welcome handler. So, or if you want to, like, for example, you're adding the bot in any specific channels, and if you want to perform an operation based on that, you have to define the logic under participation handler. So, based on your need or what your use case demands, you have to define the logic under the specific handler. So each handler is basically a code editor. So you have to specify the logic under this code editor. So how do you actually define what should happen when a bot or a slash command or a function is triggered? So each of these internal tools comes with its own handler, and inside that handler, you decide whether the response should be a simple message or a form to collect user input or a combination of both. So to make this easier, the code editor of every tool includes two builders. One is the message builder and the form builder. So the message builder offers a drag and drop interface where you can design the rich message cards without writing code. You can include text messages, lists, and tables, and to structure the response. Although charts and graphs are not supported visually in the builder yet, you can still include them by using Cliq REST API. So let's navigate to Cliq REST API. So under Cliq REST API documentations, under the under core resources message object, you have attaching content section. Here, these are the types of responses that is supported in Cliq message cards. So you can use this, and you can find the required JSON payloads to configure charts or graphs or tables, and this makes the response of each platform component more intuitive. Similarly, you have the form builder that allows you to create input forms quickly through a simple drag and drop interface. It supports all major uh, supports all major inputs for collecting data, such as channels, native drop down, or if you want to provide a drop down with your own predefined options, you can give them in dynamic select. You can view the preview, and also the code is being instantly generated, and you can view the code by clicking the view code button over here. So the view code button supports both JSON and Deluge script. And there are other fields that is supported in the form builder as well. So if you want to include a date time calendar, or if you want the user to give their location, or if you want the user to upload any attachment, and you want to handle a logic based on that, the form builder is, you can use the inputs present in the form builder. So together, these builders help you to design responses and interactions smoothly without needing any advanced UI coding. Slash commands. Think of slash command as your instant delivery agent, which is always on standby, which is ready to fetch what you need and right when you need it. So whether we are on a chat with your team or in a deep conversation thread, just type a slash command and it instantly brings the information from another app or database right into your chat window. So for example, if you want to get the list of projects, or if you want to pull the list of tasks that is assigned for you today, or if you want to view your details of a specific employee, you can all automate these logics with slash commands. So since we have already created a connection in with respect to Zoho Desk, let's try to pull the list of open and closed tickets into any chat. So I'll share the code snippet in some time. Uh, so navigate to bots and tools. On the slash command, let's try to create a slash command. Say desk ticket. Click save code. So here I have used the endpoint of get associated ticket endpoints, that you can go to the Zoho Desk REST API documentation. You have an endpoint called list associated tickets. So this is basically, it gives you the list of tickets that is assigned to you. So I'm using uh, this endpoint into a Deluge function called invoke URL. So you will be using this particular Deluge function for every API call that you're going to make from your extension. We created a connection earlier, right? So let's go to that connection, and it was Zoho Desk for Zoho Cliq. So this is the connection link name which we have to specify. So after specifying it, I'm clicking save. So the slash command that I have given is slash desk ticket analytics. Now I'll go to any chat, like say, for example, you're trying to the discuss about the customer support in any specific channel. So, and you want to post the list of tickets that is associated to you, like a consolidated report, right? So, ticket. So this is the functionality for slash command. You can execute slash command from any chat. For example, you can post the same ticket analytics at a different channel too. So this is how slash commands work. So let's go to bots. Imagine having your own personal robotic assistant in CliqTrix', one that not only listens to you but also gets things done automatically. So that's exactly what a bot is in Cliq. So bots are like smart robots or conversational agents that you can talk to. They can get inputs from you, fetch information, or even perform tasks on behalf of you without you lifting a finger. So using bot handlers, you can fully customize your bot's behavior. These handlers are predefined response triggered by specific actions or messages. For example, let's see the action of a bot with the ChatGPT extension. So we have a ChatGPT bot. So you know how ChatGPT works, right? So if you want to like configure answers seamlessly and endlessly, you can configure this logic in the bot's message handler. So let's say explain. As you see, the bot has answered it automatically. So all of this you can define with under message handler. So similarly, based on that type of use case which you want to achieve, you can pick the specific handler. For example, if you want to like populate some predefined options like how you have in a mobile, like somewhat like a menu, you can define them under the menu handler. For example, the ChatGPT bot has 4 menu actions like imagine to post images, imagine menu action to generate an image, or if you want to read the terms and conditions of how the chat gpt extensions and its data privacy concern works, you can use that. Or it's better to include uh, a help menu action so that users can get to know about the feature of the extension that you're trying to build. Moving on to widgets. Okay. So think of widget as a unified control panel, just like a cockpit in an aircraft. From one place, you can track, manage, and control everything, whether it's pulling data from different tabs or showing live updates or letting you take quick actions. You can do all of this without switching any tab. And or if you want to monitor support tickets or sales numbers or attendance logs, your widget can show it all beautifully organized and interactive. Widgets are highly customizable and can include both text and visuals, making the data not just visible but actionable. So okay, so okay, so when you're trying to build a widget, like say you want to show an entire dashboard with interactive elements, you have to use our click widget support different types of elements. Like if you want to include a title or text or subtext, and beyond all of this, widgets now support cards and images, which where you can define like interactive card type UI with images as well. And for analytics and stats which you want to populate in your widget, you can use the charts and graphs. We have given all the sample code in the necessary help documentation. Let me show you a working example of a widget as well. So if you want to show an analytics of any in-depth analysis of anything, or if you're trying to build an incident management software and you want to highlight how the important numbers, you can use the widget cards to highlight those important numbers. And you can multiple charts and graphs are supported under widget elements with which you can use it easily. So the ultimate need for a widget is that you need to, you should make sure that users shouldn't switch to a different tab. So whatever use case you're picking, make sure try to show all the data that is being allowed by the application. For example, let's take the case of ZenKit. So if ZenKit supports showing information about projects and tasks, try to show all of them in a Cliq widget. And the most important part is that you shouldn't be showing just numbers and text. The primary idea of a widget is to make sure that you show it in an actionable and an interactive way, and the UI UX of a widget is duly considered. And let's go to message actions. So imagine having a remote control or a taskbar right on top of each message, which gives you extra buttons to perform additional operations instantly. So that is what message actions in Cliq do. So beyond the usual options like copy, forward, or delete, message actions let you add custom buttons that perform specific tasks, like creating a support ticket from a message, or tagging it for a follow-up, or saving it to a database. Message actions can do it easily. Say if you want to add a quick note to a lead, most of the create cases can be handled with the help of message action. Because imagine you're discussing about like say you're discussing about on building a new application, and suddenly one of your friend or one of your colleague shoots a different idea which can be included as a feature, right? So we can use that to just go to that message specifically, like say for example I just want to create this as a specific task. I have to just go to the message, click more, and you can like add this as a note to in a Zoho mail, or you can add this as a separate task in Zoho projects. So this is the primary functionality of a message action. Now let's talk about functions. So think of function as your robotic chef in a Cliq kitchen. So you provide the ingredients like form inputs, button clicks, or data from a widget, and the recipe is your code logic. The function takes care of the rest, like processing the inputs or performing the calculations, making decisions, and returning exactly what is needed. There are two types of function. One is the button function. So like imagine you are like building the message card with the help of a message builder, and you're including buttons in that. So you need to define the action that happens after clicking the button, right? So that is where button function comes in place. So you just have to create a button function, and I'll tell you how you can actually what's the need of a button function. Say, so just adding a button over here. So yeah, there are like multiple button types. So if you want to execute a specific action with up, if the user wants to click this, like consider say view button, you have to specify the button type as invoke function, and here you have to give the function name, say view tickets in detail. So now you have to give this, you have to create a same function name by navigating to functions, create function. So I mean, the default function type is a button. So you have to specify the same name. So only then, when a user tries to click that button, whatever whatever logic you have defined in this view tickets and detail function gets executed. Similarly, you have the form functions where they are very dynamic. They are used to handle the logic when someone tries to submit a form. You can also use them to process the input or save it to a database, or even send the details submitted from the form to an external app. And beyond all of this, the form functions can also change the form's input field based on what the user has selected earlier. Like I explained in the previous slides about handlers, a form function has, let's say, so a form function has four handlers. For example, the default handler is the form submit handler. So this is where whatever inputs you have given in the form, you will have the submitted values in a map called uh, in a map called form. So so with that you can process the logic that you want to do with the submitted data. And if you want to change the input of a form, for example, you're having a drop down, and you want to like include a radio button based on the option chosen by the user, that can be defined under the form change handler. The documentations for all these cases have been given in detail. You can navigate to the relevant handler and you can check it out. And if you want to like define I mean, if user wants to scan a queue, or if a user wants to click a link and access a form, that they can be handled in the form view handler. So make use of the handlers very effectively. So now let's talk about Cliq schedulers. So schedulers in Cliq are like alarm clocks that for your workflows. Just like you set an alarm to wake you up at a specific time, schedulers trigger tasks automatically. Like for example, if you want to schedule it daily, weekly, or any custom time you choose, they quietly wait in the background, and then they spring into action. Whether it's to send a report or update a database or remind your team that about some critical information, you can all do this without needing any manual push. They are like time-based assistants, making sure important tasks happen exactly when they should. So we earlier saw an example of pulling desk ticket analytics, right? So we did that with the help of a slash command, where we had to execute the slash command manually. What if you want the same ticket analytics to be posted in a specific channel automatically? So in that case, scheduler will come in to help. So let's go to bots and tools. So let's copy the code which we had previously used and navigate to schedulers. So click create scheduler. Let's say automatic. Specify a scheduler name and like specify the purpose, like auto ticket reports. And under recurring period, this is where you have to define when you want the scheduler to be executed. There are like multiple recurring periods. Like if you want the execution of scheduler to be done daily, you have to specify like the time of execution. If you want the scheduler execution to end means you can just give after. So under after, like if you want to like if you want the scheduler to stop after some specific numerical occurrence, you have to specify the number here. Or if you want to stop the scheduler execution for a specific date, you can specify that in ends. Or if you want to like post on specific days of a week, or if you want the scheduler to execute on separate dates of a month, everything can be specified with a customized recurring period. So let's take example of weekly. Like say every the start of a week is Monday and Friday are critical important days of a week, right? So let's choose Monday and Friday, and let's choose a time like 9 a.m. click save code.
May I have your attention, please? We are testing the fire alarm system in the building. Please remain in the building. This is only a test. We apologize for any inconvenience. Thank you.
Again, apologies for the inconvenience that has been caused. So okay, since we are like going to automate the execution, like say the ticket report, you have to specify where you need to post the report, right? So, and in this case, like say for example, I want to post the ticket report in any specific channel. So I'm just minimizing the code editor. Say I want to post the ticket analytics in this specific channel. So I have to click the channel name, go to connectors. So to post a message in a channel, you have to use the Deluge task called as Zoho Cliq.post to channel. So just copy this Deluge task, close this, head back to the code editor. So instead of return response, you have to just give the Deluge function that we have copied. And here under we have defined the response of, I mean, the charts and graph response under the variable response. So just add them here, save. So after saving, if you want to see the execution, you don't have to wait till Monday or Friday to see the execution. You just have to click the scheduler again and click trial run. So this is how you can see the see a demo run of the scheduler. See, the ticket report has been posted. So that is schedulers for you, tricksters. Database. So they are perfect built-in storage solution for integration. It helps you to store, update, and retrieve data quickly without needing any external tools. For example, you can store employee feedback that you've got from a custom survey, or if you want to maintain unique IDs of projects or tasks, or if you want to track a user preference, or if you want to log some important information, or if you want to store any encrypted information like tokens or something, you can use the databases. It's reliable, secure, and makes accessing data within workflow seamlessly. So let's talk about extensions. So extensions are toolkits that you install in your workspace. Like imagine a customized toolbox uh, filled with everything you need for a specific job, like a screwdriver, wrench, flashlight, and a measuring tape that is organized and ready to use. Similarly, a Cliq extension bundles together all the different tools like bots, commands, message actions, functions, schedulers, and database, all working together to meet a specific workflow or a client requirement. You can bundle all your internal tools in an extension and install it for your organization. So uh, for the competition, you might have built multiple components, right? I just explained a single use case of pulling the list of associated desk tickets. Similarly, you would explore different types of use cases across multiple components like a bot or a command or a widget or functions. So what you have to do is you have to bundle all of these as a single extension and then submit it for review, or and you have to submit that. You will get an extension ID after bundling an extension. Let me show you. So you have to click create extension. So here you have to choose the component that you have built, and let's say you're choosing a bot, a widget, and say you're choosing a scheduler. And after choosing the component, you have to just click the, let's say, you can provide a unique image for the extension to be identified across the organization. And I'll come to link handlers part in the next slide. So after after choosing all the components which you want to bundle as a single extension, you have to click create. So what this does is it will bundle all the components, and you will have a specific uh, yeah. So this is how the extension looks like after bundling. You will get the necessary connectors and handlers. And so After you have like built, you can also edit multiple versions to an extension. Like if, for example, after adding some use cases, you might have updated the code, or you might have like done some enhancements, you might have added more components to the extension too. So you can edit and choose it. So after editing, and you have to click publish. So here you can review the list of components that you have added in the extension. So it says you whether would you like to showcase your extension on Zoho Marketplace. You don't have to give yes over here, because you are all submitting the extensions for CliqTrix competition alone. So this is for other customers who are willing to like broaden the Zoho Cliq Marketplace. So choose the relevant deployment centers and click agree. So once you publish, this is your extension ID. So you have to share this URL during the submission part. And you can test the extension by clicking copy, and you can just give it in any site. It'll give install. So you just have to install in in your organization. You can try the list of use cases that you have built. So this is what an extension looks like. And the extension has specific handlers as well. So there are two types of extension handler. One is the extension behavior handler. For example, imagine you are building a task management extension. So when the extension is installed, you might want to automatically create a default record when the extension is being installed, or when the extension is getting validated, you want to check whether the current user has the permissions. Like easy, of different applications have different access permissions. Like, so if you want to validate that, you can do in the installation validator. Or if you want to configure webhooks for your extension, you can do it in the incoming webhook handler. And or if you want to like erase a temporary data, you can handle that when someone uninstalls an extension. So all these cases can be handled in the extension behavior handlers. Next is the link handler. So for example, if your application has links and you want to show rich previews with all the detailed information in with the unique UI, and with buttons with which you can perform more actions on a link preview, you can perform that with the help of link handlers. uh, you can navigate to the extension handler over here. Like if you click an extension, for example, you have the handlers over here. So these are the extension behavior handlers, and these are the link handlers. You can handle or you can configure your logic based on the use case which you are going to pick up. So, and last but not the least, this is the most important slide of this whole session. We are receiving multiple requests, like how you are going to evaluate, or like how do you even suggest to pick a right use case. So this is where we are going to tell it. So when you're building an extension, the first step is to choose the right use case. This begins with identifying the real problem and matching it with the suitable internal component in Cliq. For example, if you need quick information on demand, that is where slash command comes in place. For example, like we saw the case where we had to pull the list of associated tickets immediately in a chat, right? So in this case, a slash command works better. Or if you want the same thing upon execution of a button or like a menu like thing, that is where bot comes in place. So understanding the nature of the problem will help you to select the right component from the start. Start by identifying what the user needs. So if the problem requires displaying information in a compact, visible space, a widget is a great fit. For example, a team dashboard displaying live sales numbers, task status, or daily metrics that can sit right in the sidebar for quick access. So if you want to do something automatically at a specific frequency, that is where Click Scheduler component helps you comes in place. It automates your task without needing any manual input. For example, if you want to post an attendance summary, these schedulers work in background and ensure your extension keeps things running smoothly. And When your extension needs to add actions to a message, like buttons or that allows user to create task or approve request or fetch more details, you can use message actions. These allow users to interact with messages more efficiently. So while choosing a use case, it is also important to pick external services that make development easier. Always look for applications that provide REST APIs because they allow your extension to fetch or send data smoothly. And link unfurling is another powerful component. When your use case involves URL, it's like say whenever a user pastes a link in a chat, your extension can detect it and provide a richer preview. You can configure link unfurling by say we created this extension, right? Just go to the edit part. You have link handlers here. So you have to add the domain over here. For example, if it's like github.com or if it's like trello.com, you have to provide the domain over here. So based on the domain, you can handle the link previews in under the link handlers. So another useful feature is webhooks. Services that support webhooks can notify extension instantly when something happens, like a new ticket being created or a new task created or a form is submitted or an update is added in a CRM record. This helps you to offer real-time updates inside Cliq. Since Cliq is a chat application, alerts and notifications will be extremely beneficial and inclusion of imagine you are picking a use case or to build an extension which has webhooks. It is an added advantage because Cliq is an chat application, right? So notifying and alerts is extremely crucial for an application like Cliq, and it is also very useful in terms of a feature as well. For login and authentication, choosing a service that supports OAuth 2.0 makes the process more secure and seamless. So instead of asking users for passwords or tokens or API keys, OAuth 2.0 lets them log in with a simple authorize button. To stand out, your extension should offer more than a basic functionality. That is, you can adapt latest trends like AI. For example, small enhancements like AI assisted recommendations, automatic summaries, or intelligent reminders. You can get help of any AI tool or AI application. With the simple use of AI, for example, like if you're summarizing a long CRM note before sending it to Cliq, it can add tremendous value to your extension that you're going to submit. But while using AI, it is also important to stay mindful of privacy and security. Only send the minimum data that is required to AI services. Avoid sharing any sensitive or personal information, and always be transparent about what your extension processes. Making responsible choices like this keeps your solution more powerful and trustworthy. Finally, ensure that the extension's responses and navigation are intuitive. Like have clear buttons and have intuitive forms and well organized and well UI UX rich message cards can make a big difference in how users interact with it. Whether it is a create task button or a view details option, a good call to action guide makes the user naturally understand the workflow that your extension is capable of. Always think in terms of user's perspective. The ultimate idea of your extension should be to reduce the interaction and make sure the user who's going to install your extension doesn't do much efforts. So that is the primary thing. And if you need any ideas or inspiration, you can always explore the latest Cliq marketplace for extensions. And when you explore, each extension has its own help documentation. You can explore how the extension has covered such use cases. Looking at others, what they have built is a great way to understand what's possible, and you can identify gaps that you can solve with your own creative use cases. I hope this session was informative and enriching as you expected. Yet, yes, there were some technical difficulties in between, and we extremely apologize for that. And if you need more time to brainstorm or you want to explore ideas in detail, you can always refer to our help documentation. We have curated everything right from conceptual guides to advanced implementation steps to support your extension development journey. You can access the resource by moving to Just a second. Okay. So you can access the help documentations by visiting to zoho.com/click. So if you scroll to resource and select developers, you will find all the detailed guides, code examples, component explanation, API references, and practical examples that help you to shape your use case with better clarity and confidence. For example, you mean if you want to include rich responses for forms, widgets, and message cards, you can navigate them under platform slash widget section elements and everything. So every specific information is given in detail. With respect to extension, I would like to add a point. Okay. So when you are including webhooks in your extension, right? So you'll try to create a webhook URL, and to create a webhook, you have to specify the an incoming webhook endpoint, right? So along with an endpoint, you also have to give a token or like a unique authentication key. So you have to use the extension token. This can navigate to platform slash build extension slash security key. So you can use this token to create a webhook. And while creating webhooks, it's necessary to keep two things in mind. Just a minute. So if you go to the extensions you have created, you have two incoming webhook endpoints. One is the sandbox and one is the marketplace thing. So when you are trying and when you are debugging and when you are trying to add more logics to your extension, you have to use the sandbox URL. So when you're trying to submit the extension for review, or when you want to install your extension and see, in that case you have to use the marketplace URL. You can use both of them in your code editor. Just comment it accordingly based on your need. Like say if you want to install and try, comment the sandbox URL and send it with the marketplace URL and install. Or if you want to debug in your own local system, use the sandbox URL and comment the marketplace URL while trying to create a webhook. So these are some of the tips which I'd like to tell. We also have a vibrant developer community where we try to post custom solutions, unique automations, and best practice workflows that help developers worldwide have adopted. These community-driven examples can spark ideas you might have not thought yet, and you are absolutely free to adopt it and adapt any of the solutions into your own use case. So definitely check it out if you are looking for any inspiration or wondering what's possible within the Cliq platform. Like say, you can navigate to the developer community post where we have given all the explanations of a particular use case in detail, along with the code snippets. You can adopt it. Can navigate to see. We have given multiple different workflows and automated solutions. And about link previews, we have given more in detail under these community posts. So feel free to check it out. Thank you all for being such an engaging and enthusiastic, and to be honest, a very patient audience today, because there was like multiple disruptions and too many things happened at the same time unexpectedly. We sincerely apologize for that, and we genuinely appreciate your time, curiosity, and energy. So whether you're just stepping into extension development or planning to build something transformative, we hope today's session helped you to gain some clarity, confidence, and direction. Wishing you all the very best for the competition, and may the brainstorming continue even after this session ends. So happy coding, happy experimenting, and happy weekend. This is Harsha signing off, and bye.